Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hello, Chris. I'm back. I'm back for the glory shots. And hello to our listeners out there. Yeah. I put my kit on, lifting the trophy that says, fucking thank God it's finished. We are covering Love Island UK Season 9, the finale, Chris. And what a finale. It wasn't, but, you know.
I was going to say, what were you watching?
Drunk again. That's quite all right. Now, Chris, where would you like to start today?
Well, I think what we should do is just briefly talk about the position of everyone, Dave. Who won, who didn't, and that, and then just talk about the fucking series as a whole. Because this has been a hell of a commitment and slog from not just us, Dave, from all our listeners, if they've had to watch it. And a lot of people have said, look, just listen to the podcast, including my own wife, who's like, she watched one episode and was like, I'm done. And at times, Dave, I'll be honest with you, I wish I'd done the same, my friend, but we wouldn't have a podcast, so we had to power through. So I think for me, we've got the top four. We're going into this episode. Maya Jama's there. I think she's been a bit of a breath of fresh air in the show, and not just, she's a great-looking girl without doubt, but not just that. I think she... Fuck off, Dave.
No, sorry. I wish I could. I should have put myself on mute there. Sorry. Carry on digging away. Oh, yeah, this is entertaining for me.
Right.
Breath of fresh air. It's nothing to do with how she looks at all.
No. Breath of fresh air, Dave. You
did say breath.
Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly
she
on.
got in trouble with her Instagram, though, didn't she? Fucking spoiling it before Jesse and Will went out.
Yeah, and looking at ITV, they released the advert, the Muppet, and we talked about it on Maths, didn't we? But it was like, oh, well done. I mean, Jesse and Will, I think you're going to see Will. He could potentially become a TV presenter, Dave, as in a children's TV presenter. He's got that fucking...
Mr. Tumble's been going for ages, hasn't he? So he's fucking ready there. Just has to learn a bit of sign language. He's a shoo-in, surely.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that ridiculous, as you would say, Dave, and I'm stealing it, that shit-eating grin, my friend, as you would say. So, yeah, he's... They were obviously fifth. So I think it ran. I thought possibly Shaq and Tanya would come in the top three, but unfortunately they were fourth. Tom and Sammy were third. Then second was Ron and Lana. First, Kai and Sanam, Dave. And it went, and I saw our great friend Derek had put on Facebook. He actually had the voting percentages that have been released. So this is quite interesting. And it's, so Shaq and Tanya got 2% of the votes, Dave. Tom and Sammy, 24. Ron, Lana, 30. And Kai and Sanam, 44. Now, I know Kai and Sanam were popular because of what happened. Shaq and Tanya, that's interesting. I just don't think she did herself any favours. That was in the public arena, the way she reacted with Shaq. Some were calling Shaq out. Then Tom and Sammy, Dave had it. A lot of people don't like Sammy, Dave, as well. So, yeah, I'm glad it went the way it went.
Don't
and Kai and
like
Sanam
Sammy? What's
yeah, loads. The way she went at Ron, loads of people were calling her out, saying she was bullying him. And that's why Ron and Lana pushed up, within the ranks, because obviously Ron wasn't a popular character earlier on. Loads of people were off the Tom and Sammy train completely because of the way she dealt with it. I saw it as she was going at him a bit, but we're not there all the time. She was a bit opinionated, but why? She's allowed to be. She was nothing to me. Usually we'd go after her and say, I saw bits, but it wasn't, not the way I saw some of the stuff on Twitter, which I know is fucking toxic at the best of times. So, yeah, interesting, Dave, but there was a bit of a backlash with them too.
Well, so it's interesting focusing on Sammy there, but surely I'd forgotten, right? Because you do, don't you? You forget, like, who are these people from the earlier part of the season? Oh, yeah, that person was in. But I forgot how much of a dick Tom was and how much he irritated me early on. It's like, oh, I don't want any drama. But then he's fucking right in the middle of it. And it just bugged me. And so I actually thought coming into that, I with Tom and Sammy, I thought, you know what, they might just have a chance here. I've said for weeks now, I hope Kai and Sanam win, and I was so chuffed, to be honest, when they actually did. It went to the right couple. I've been a bit skeptical right since Liam and Millie won it that year that, well, cheating's just part of the strategy now, isn't it? You've just taught everyone that, you can go and cheat in Casa Amor and it's just a test. You can get together, public loves you, and we'll vote you in. So my faith in the voting public was restored a little bit. I think going, to Shaq and Tanya, before going into Casa Amor, Shaq displayed some distasteful behaviour, didn't he? He was getting very intense and, bit controlling of Tanya. I felt, when she won when she won the kissing competition, I think that was Shaq at his worst. But then Shania.
That's what they were called. They were called Shania. That's what everyone was calling him, yeah.
So Shaq and Tanya, when Tanya in particular went in and then she pulled Martin and then brought Martin back, I thought her gaslighting game went right up, and I didn't like the way she sort of treated Martin. The best bit, one of the highlights of the season was Martin, eating his popcorn at the movie night. And so it doesn't really surprise me that they're not that popular. I didn't think it'd be like 2%, but fourth feels about right. And then, like I say, I guess with Tom and Sammy, Tom, was quite flaky at the start, wasn't he? And then, he was another cheater. And I was thinking coming into it, he might do a Liam and Millie thing here and then just steal it. So, again, I was quite happy. A little bit surprised that Ron and Lana came second. I thought it would be the other way round. I thought Tom and Sammy would come second and Ron and Lana third. But when you look at the percentages, there's not that much in it, is there?
Yeah, and that's true. And I think watching it, I love the fact that, my son was going, oh, we're going to, the intent, the tension, there's no fucking tension. Everyone's just watching the clock, like, just get it over and done with. We don't really think this season for me, David, we talk about the season. So obviously, Kai and Sanam win it. Great stuff. They genuinely looked surprised and, fair play. And I think, to be honest, Kai owes a massive drink to fucking Olivia, Dave, because never has anybody's PR been elevated so much by someone who people disliked. And somewhere, Olivia is talking to herself and she's writing a memoirs, Dave. And the new book she's bringing out simply says, it should have been me, Dave. I haven't seen her socials, but I fucking guarantee there'll be some bitchy comment or something towards Kai, Dave. She absolutely got that wrong with him, and it helped him so much with the show and the people's popularity.
She'll soon be releasing the Kai dartboard on Etsy, no doubt.
What you didn't see off camera about Kai, yeah, I mean, the fucking papers and everything.
It'll be something like, oh yeah, but he's totally fake, isn't he? I'm not surprised he won because he's fake. And it's just, you know what? As much as I was kind of happy for Kai and Sanam to win, it did make me think of Olivia and how fucking bitter she probably was at that, and so I did have a little chuckle about it, I must admit.
So, Dave, what did you think of this series as a whole?
I thought there were good bits in it. Some of the episodes were gripping, and you were waiting, for the next episode to come around. But given that you're talking about 50 odd episodes, I could probably count on one hand when that was. Yeah. This, if I was to rank the whole season, it's been a bit of a snore fest, hasn't it? I mean, compare it to Maths, right? When almost every episode has got you gripped, and they're different, the format of it's different and everything. Or you could say that, the format is the same, but the drama is different. Whereas here, I think everyone's just a little bit too cute, a little bit too aware of the career after, and the fact that they're on camera. The mask will slip a little bit occasionally, but not much, and they're all just a bit too tactical. So I don't know. And by the way, I obviously but I mean, I think there's probably a suspicion out there that I've just dropped out and stopped watching it. I have been watching it. I just been so busy the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we hadn't had time to record. But watching along, it just feels really tired and stale. And I know you hate like the baby game, and I've always said, yeah, it's kind of all right. And the thing I like about it is you've got these self-obsessed narcissists who never have to take care of anything apart from how does their makeup look. Boys and girls, how they all take hours to present themselves, and they all look really good, by the way. But that is the center of their world, and so for a single day having this striking little ball of plastic, I kind of like that. But this time, and you're talking about multiple UK seasons. There's obviously, they do the same thing in Australia. They do the same thing in the US. And just this season is like, I'm so fucking done with this now. Is it that this is part of the DNA? So, you always have to have the baby game. I suppose meeting the parents, it is interesting. But again, even that I felt was a bit flat, because what the entertaining bits are when you see someone coming in and they're not bought into it at all, and they give them a bit of tough love. They might call them out on some things, but you don't now, because they don't want to fuck up their chances. They know the game too well. So yeah, I thought this whole season was a little bit flat, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can't disagree, Dave. I think it took 5 weeks for us to get anywhere where we got any drama, didn't we? It was like the first couple of weeks, there was nothing. The last series in August, it was great. July, August, there was just something from the start. One that I know we went on about Gemma Owen, and it changed then, and it had Ekin-Su, who made it fun. And then she was so aware of effing Davide, and obviously I got everything correct with that series, Dave, which helps, obviously.
You got your one fucking Hail Mary, which you will dine off forever.
Well, somebody did say there is a 1% chance, and I've not seen who it is, Dave. 1%
does come in every now and then.
But I'm with you. There has to be something that changes. So they're already advertising for Mallorca for the summer. And I'm like, oh my God. It seems to be, like you said, it's become stale. It's become sort of reality shows. Stuff like X Factor and, Pop Idol, Britain's Got Talent. They're all the same formula and they stick to it. And I think for us, obviously, this is your mistake, really, Dave, because you wanted us to do, obviously, the UK one in the summer, then Australia, and then we've gone straight into the UK one. I mean, 6 months of Love Island off your recommendation has been a hell of
Yeah. It is. Now, taking a step back, has that influenced in a negative way? So doing the Australian one before Christmas and then coming straight into the Winter Love Island, has that soured our viewing of it? Or I don't think this is just us, though. I don't think it is just you and I sort of getting a bit jaded with it all. I think just everyone, with it being in the winter, it's actually a bit sunny today, but it just feels wrong. You want to be, in the summer yourself. You want to be like watching it, enjoying it, and especially if they're not going to change the fucking format. If everyone's going to play up to the cameras and hide their true selves, apart from the occasional bit of drama. You don't need it twice a year. You certainly don't need it fucking relentlessly following the countries. And you can drop trees off the end of that. Or rees, I guess.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. No. I'm with you, Dave. And I think the viewing figures, they've like been under 1 million per episode. I think they were down to like 700,000 this last week. So there's so many messages we've had of people saying we're just not watching it now. It's just, and that's unusual for Love Island. And I do think, joking aside, I pushed for us to do the Australian Love Island, and it was a step too far. We needed that break. And I think this is too much. I don't want to see another Love Island winter. I really don't. It's great for us engaging on the podcast. I love speaking to everybody coming in, some having a go at us, some not, some agreeing, disagreeing. That's the whole point of this. It's a reality show that we all love talking about. It's nonsense, and it's just been too much. It's been too far. I just didn't get the reason behind it. They tried it, 3 years ago, lockdown hit and other circumstances which you know about, for obvious reasons, the show wasn't on. I just don't know what they're going to bring to the table in the summer that's going to be any different. They've not changed it now for nearly 5 or 6 years. And the only thing they brought out was that on the extravagant dates, the couples then decided who they were going to vote for. And that was like Kai and Sanam had a chance. How like Shaq and Tanya, Tom and Sammy didn't get votes, I do not know. And then we lost, a couple, and it was Jesse and Will. But again, that wasn't something that was needed. It's like there is a lot of things in my eyes that have to be just have to be fresh and real people. And I just don't think we're going to get it. It is a avenue to make a lot of money, ride off into the sunset, buy a house, car, whatever. There is a massive financial benefit these days. And unfortunately, we've been saying it since we've been covering it. It's just got worse and worse every time we watch it. So I just don't know what they can do. I really don't. That's going to make it more engaging. The cast make absolute. So I saw it again, Dave. We saw about Olivia with Liam and his video from when he came in a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
She was on Tommy Fury's fucking video as a girl chasing him. I saw that yesterday. I'm like, fuck
was
me.
Was it Tommy? I saw that a couple of weeks ago. Someone found it. Yeah, she was just in the background, wasn't she?
Yeah, the Liam one, she was on the top of the library and he runs off.
Yeah.
But then I saw the one with Tommy Fury yesterday and he's got his boxing gloves on and she's running after him. And I'm like...
It's a different one.
A different one. I'm like, fucking hell. How
she
desperate
really
are
has
you?
been chasing it.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, she'll be in next season's as chasing one of the other contestants, probably, Dave. Talk about a fucking desperado. So that's what you're dealing with, unfortunately. So, yeah... I'm sorry to leave it on like a bad note, but it's just not lived up to the hype that I thought it would for me.
I mean, who in this cast that we've seen, so people who were in the final and stuff, and all the contestants or islanders who've come on, who would you say is not chasing the fame? Who isn't already fucking plastered over Instagram and, looking to be that influencer, looking to do the nightclub circuit? I think in past seasons, maybe not so recently, but you go further back and, you get the impression that at least some of them were there to find someone. Yeah. Whereas I think 100% of the people we've seen on this series, it's all just about creating that perception, creating that minor celebrity life after.
Well, and I agree with that because all we've got to do, Dave, is as we were talking yesterday with Cameo, is who's doing a birthday invitation, who's doing a meet and greet. There's going to be all sorts of people, sadly.
Yeah, I think so. And so, I don't know. Apparently, I mean, I haven't seen any actual figures. I've just seen a rhetoric that, the Love Island figures are down, but it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because some people don't watch it live, they'll stream it. And so you have to add your traditional viewing figures to the streaming figures as well. So it's difficult to really say, what the figures are until a few weeks after. But you can just tell, just from our own little bubble, our own little sphere, if you like, people have just been dropping out like flies, me included, in terms of our recording. But people just aren't interested, and I almost wonder, have they fucked up the summer one?
Yeah,
because the way this is finished, the last couple of weeks, no one's interested. It's fucking March. That's the other thing, isn't it? They've made the seasons longer. So, we're in March now. It'll start again in June. You've only had 3 months off. I know I won't be fucking ready for another fucking Love Island to see the same shit again. Hoping for a handful, 10%, We've got 50 episodes. I'll be generous and say there were 5 good episodes. Things like the movie night, they coming back from Casa Amor. I mean, that was probably the episode. That was the season highlight, wasn't it? That's 2 episodes. I'll be generous and say there were probably another 3 somewhere. So 10% of all this watching time.
Yeah.
You're waiting for that. So they've got to do something. And, I think the problem is, even though the viewing figures are down, it's still probably a bit of a cash cow for ITV, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so. And I think you've summed that up perfectly, Dave. And I think as well, we're doing maths at the same time. And maths is just night and day. The level of shithousery, gaslighting, all the things wrong, but all the things right for a reality show are just there to be seen. Some of the characters. And I think having the older people on the show as well, like you look at that, we always say we need older people on Love Island and that. Looking at Married at First Sight, the people are fucking older and even worse, so I think they just don't have no filter. So Married at First Sight is slightly different show, but it brings everything to the table that I want in a reality show. And unfortunately, doing them running simultaneously is not been great for Love Island in my eyes either. We can tolerate a lot, but just that being on at the same time for me has just ruined it even more, I think.
Yeah, and I was just looking, Chris. You're saying about the older people, right? Season 1 of Love Island was in summer of 2015. That is 8 years ago, my friend. How old were a lot of this cast when that was on?
How old were we, Dave? I was still in my 30s then.
I mean, basically, for some of the younger crowd, their teenage years have basically had Love Island in them.
Yeah.
They've grown up with it.
Yeah. That's true.
That's fucking nuts, isn't it? So, again, we're getting a different level of player through now.
Yeah. That's very true, actually, Dave. Don't think of it like that. How old are we? What's going on here,
well,
Dave?
The good news is we're fucking old, so it doesn't really matter. So 2015 just feels like yesterday. But when you're that age, you're changing a lot, aren't you? And like I say, it changes your whole perception around like the world and stuff. Like I remember, if you think about now, like people who are coming into the workforce, they've just never known a life without the internet, never known a life without fucking smartphones and, well, young people aren't on Facebook, but, Snapchat, fucking Instagram, all these things. It's just different. And so, yeah, I think this is, again, for me, why they really have to shake things up, because it's so formulaic now. Everyone knows the game. Everyone knows exactly what's going to happen. And yeah, people will fuck up a bit. But that's why you've got this, very rare occasion where you get some real drama, because everyone's like pretending to be someone else. Even fucking Tom, right? He's a semi-professional fucking footballer. The fucking football season's on.
No, he's in Love Island.
And he's in fucking Love Island. So, even him, you would say, oh, well, he's got something, outside of celebritydom. But he's not really, has he?
No.
Or else he'd be fucking playing.
Yeah, they wouldn't have allowed him, would they? The club would have binned him off. So, it's a very good... I didn't think of that, Dave. Now, listen, I've got a pitch for you, Dave. Now, just hear me out now. Okay. We've done the Daily podcast. Hello, Dave. You there? Now, obviously, there's supposed to be the middle-aged Love Island coming on, Dave. Perfect. Potentially Davina McCauley's going to be the presenter, ex-Big Brother alumni. But I've just mentioned a show, Dave, that's coming back in the UK this year. Now, I'm not being funny, Dave, but Big Brother was the pinnacle of shows. And we've not discussed this off the podcast, and I can feel the grinding of the teeth. The Chris Phelps voodoo doll is now being absolutely destroyed, Dave, as we speak it. Just throwing it out there. I'm not saying any more than that, my friend.
Absolutely fucking not. And I'll tell you why. Because I've got quite an addictive personality. Big Brother, I fucking loved. But you know what I loved about it, Chris? It's not this fucking 1 hour of edited content that you see that's very staged, very set up. You can see the producer fingerprints all over it. Big Brother, at least in the early seasons when I was watching it, you could watch, obviously through the TV 24/7. You could stream it on your laptop or whatever. So all of these different avenues just consumed my life for season 1 and 2. And you had the fucking Nasty Nick and stuff, and old Bubble. I remember him flying over the sofa on season 2. So yeah, you know what I want to do, Chris? You know what I want to do? It's talk about fucking set up and fake and bunch of fame chasers. The Bachelor. I want to do the fucking Bachelor because, by God, I have been yearning for that once a week episode.
I have missed it. I must admit, I am genuinely with you. I've missed the Bachelor franchise, Bachelor, Bachelorette, that utter horseshit bollocks on that show, Dave. And we've not done one for, it must be nearly a year now because of all the bloody Love Island and maths and stuff. But yeah. I sort of want to dip our toe back into it. And you're right, an hour and a half once a week? Bring that fucker on, Dave. I will absolutely dissect. I will never, ever besmirch the name of the Bachelor franchise ever again, Dave.
Steady. I cannot make that promise. But isn't it weird that because we've stepped away from it for a year or so, we actually genuinely want to come back in, whereas
why
want to shoot fucking red hot pokers through my fingernails or something, when we finished that last season.
Well, Dave, let's have a look at the schedule because we're not doing anything until maths is finished now. We've got to clear maths off the agenda because we just cannot do it. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not, honest. Honest, Dave, I'm not.
Yeah, very convincing.
Anyway, Dave, we have had our final email about Love Island for this season. Well, it goes in with if you do want to send them in, guys, as always, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. But this one is from Zico, Dave. What a great name.
Brazilian legend, Zico.
Legend, yeah, Zico. What a player. So, hi, Chris and Dave. Thanks, as always, for a great podcast. Gave me good laughs and perspective every day at lunch during work. I also think you bring out the interesting parts of Love Island, the relationship drama, debates over how best to handle situations, and comments how the producers impact the show. I think this season of Love Island was almost great. It had all the beats of a great series. Relationship drama in multiple couples, season sweethearts in Lana and Sanam, comeback Kai will add something different. Jessie flying from another continent to play the game. I do think she's genuine, by the way. She just was too involved in Casey's business at the end. There were some genuinely hilarious moments, including Tanya's ability to shirk blame after her movements in Casa Amor and give an apology speech in front of Martin, as well as Olivia saying the elephant in the room was Ron after movie night. Now, that was fucking brilliant, that I've got to say, Dave. We talk about, I had no idea what she's fucking doing. I am happy Kai and Sanam won, and it was great to see a mature couple who seemed to like each other take the prize. I will say that the chemistry between the Islanders seemed non-existent this series, and it made it less memorable, in my opinion. Drama became less enjoyable and lower stakes because it felt like the Islanders genuinely did not like each other at points. I also think the season didn't have enough big personalities outside of Tanya who could bounce off each other and really stand their ground in the villa. It's something that Love Island has lacked for a few seasons, in my opinion. The producers need to freshen up the format, perhaps have games with a prize for one couple each week to raise the stakes and encourage the couples to form stronger bonds as they try to win weekly. Anyways, well done and well-deserved to Kai and Sanam, and thanks for another great season of the CD Reality Cast. Best, Zico. So what a great email that is, Dave. Really good.
That's fantastic. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm genuinely really happy that he seems to have really enjoyed the season. And I think, there probably are people out there who have enjoyed it a lot as well. It's just not a pair of miserable old bastards like us.
Like us? Yeah, that's a one, Dave.
Well,
No.
Chris, I do have some reviews to read out. So, across on Apple Podcasts, so in our GB store, this one is titled New Buddies. I adore these guys. It's just like going to the pub with friends in the good old days and swapping opinions, takes on goings on in reality land. As a SHAM, I think that is stay at home mom and vet. I'm not sure I'm their target audience, but I love these guys regardless and look forward to catching up with them daily. Thanks so much, guys. And then we have another one. It says, the best reality TV podcast out there. This is my go-to reality TV podcast. I love the day after watching an episode of Love Island or MAFS, checking to see what Chris and Dave think. I like that they're older.
Come on now, come on.
Because I can't think of any man in their 40s who'd discuss it with me. So I'm not sure if that's a backhanded compliment or what. Sometimes it does stop me in my judgment tracks when they make me think, yeah, I made some idiotic mistakes in my 20s. Hello, kettle. Meat pot.
I know. I agree.
My only criticism is that I wish you'd started reviewing Maths Australia in line with the E4 release date. I'm always going to be behind on your podcast. I imagine that's the same for other UK Maths Australia fans. That's a good point, that, isn't it, Chris? But I don't really know how to get around that. Other than, I mean, we still show up if you scroll down the page, I guess. But I don't know, like Spotify, I guess, has some playlists, doesn't it? There must be a way that we could make it easier for people to just go to the relevant episode.
Yeah, and you know, I thought that when we were talking a maths episode, the last one, and I'm like, oh, it's great, everyone from the UK is tuning in. I'm thinking, hang on, we're on episode 26. It's going to be another 3 weeks if people are watching it in sequence with the show. So It's sort of one of them Back to the Future Einstein moments, Dave. You know, like he's a minute in front. He's sort of like, I was saying it, and then I was like, but there isn't really any point me saying that because people would be like, well, Chris, thanks for that. That was 4 weeks ago when you mentioned that 1 or 3 weeks. So yeah, I don't know what to say with that. It's a good point. Now, I think I've done it before. I think I can create a playlist, Dave, on Spotify, but then you'd have to distribute the link yourself, sort of thing. I'd have to have a look at that. I have done it previously for Bachelor and Bachelorette on Spotify.
Could always do it on the Facebook page. I mean, if people are listening via other podcast catchers, I guess, you know, it doesn't really work, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think we always want to be, because we have listeners from all over, don't we? And I would want to, look, I can't pause it. I can't wait for maths for 4 weeks. So, yeah, we'll figure something out, I'm sure.
We will. And Dave, big thank you to everyone. As Dave said, we really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. If you want to email us, as I said before, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast. As always, please get over to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Come over there, guys. All the shows are linked on there. So if you are behind on any of them and you're outside the UK or wherever you are watching it, you know, they are available through Charlene and Tom. We do appreciate you putting all them links up for us, guys. So thank you. If you want to get over and support us a little bit more, get over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So the last Love Island roll call of honour for this series, Dave, is Kent, Lucky Lulu Green, Lauren Tracy, Hennessy Susan, Dee Dee, Katie, Libby, Joanna, Noreen, Chloe, Brianna, Helen, Keith, Gillian, Zoe, Kristen, Maggie, Kate, Megan, Cassie, Fiona, Emma, Schmave, Nicola, Macy, Alex, Helen, and Larissa. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. Oh, it's over, Dave. It's fucking over.
No.
Oh.
The end
is near. So we've reached our final curtain. But anyway, Dave, it's been amazing that we've done it. I like the way you've John Terry'd it at the end. Come in to get the trophy and all the applause.
I've got my kit on here. I've got my Speedos and my Crocs on.
Well done, Dave. Yeah, well done. But no, thank you, everyone. It's been an unbelievable journey for us this year. Oh my gosh, this has been the longest 2 months ever on a reality show, Dave. Just unbelievable.
And Chris, it's going to be 9 o'clock tonight. and I don't have to fucking watch Love Island. I'm so happy I might just shed a tear. But thank you very much, sir. It has been a lot of fun. Even though, the series, I feel like it's been lackluster, it's always brilliant to come on here and just rip it to pieces. So thank you very much to yourself, sir, especially, covering when I couldn't do it. Thanks to everyone out there for listening. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.